this message is for me. And so when we bring our questions, when we bring our pain, when we bring our disappointments, when we bring it to the only one who can do anything about it, this is how we overcome disappointments. Being in the midst of Jesus. And in Mary's case, it was the resurrection power of Jesus. It was the ultimate turning point to overcome disappointment. But for us today, in His presence, that is when Jesus can showcase His power to bring life and hope out of our disappointments and despair. See, before Mary recognized it was Jesus, remember her state, she was distraught, sad, disappointed with what just happened. But then when she recognized and hears Jesus call her name, she turned, she looked up, and it transformed her despair into hope. And I think you and I are oftentimes we do the same. And so we must always address the false assumptions within our disappointment. For example, we're at times disappointed by God's will, right? Meron tayo pinansali, hindi ginat ni Lord, disappointed tayo kay Lord. Totoo yun, real talk. See, but we haven't stopped to ask a question, okay, was what I hoping for actually is God's will? Because if it's not God's will, then God's not going to allow it to happen. And then if it's not God's will and it does not happen, then I'm disappointed. So maybe the question is, was I hoping for something that actually is God's will? Or was it my own wishful thinking only? Or was it my own hoping? Or perhaps we must also ask this question, is my disappointment merely an issue of me having a false assumption on God's timing? Have you ever thought about that? Minsan kasi, di ba, pag hindi gina-grant ni Lord o hindi nangyayari yung gusto natin, doon tayo na-disappoint. Have we ever stopped and asked ourselves, well, maybe it's not God's timing. Di ba? Maybe God has a different timing than my timing. Maybe God has a different plan than my plan.